Patterson University Television.
Welcome back to the desk. The Nears keep on rolling as the baseball team is set off to face Montclair State this weekend in the NJAC tournament. As the Pioneers roll out their A team, we're rolling out our A team on this B block as we have Anthony, Jimmy, Andrew, and Steve. Gentlemen, wow, we had a raucous game last Tuesday. We had a big game against Kane here, and the NJAC Player of the Year, Dan Carter, had a really, really big game-winning hit. So let's take a listen to that from our very own Steve Mulder and Cal Richey.
2-1. Swung on.
Get out, ball.
In the right center field. That
Get out, ball.
Looking up. And it's out of here. Man, the man Carter strikes, and the Pioneers win the ball game.
How about that for
Dan
some fireworks?
Carter, a walk-off grand slam to win it here at Jeff Albies.
The Danimal making things happen.
Dan Carter getting the job done for the Pioneers. And the Pioneers win 10-9.
That was to clinch us getting into the NJAC. Now, Anthony, he had another walk-off. What did you see from that one?
Yeah, so the Pioneers played Kane this weekend, and Kane did take a walk. We're going to take a look at the highlights right here. Dan Carter does come up big, but we actually have some other stats to get into here as the highlights will play here. We pick things up in the bottom of the second. Carson Weiss going deep to left off the scoreboard and gone. Steve, as you said, Carson Weiss, he is so nice as he drives one out in the Pioneers. We're actually down 4-0 here in the top of the first inning, and then Carson Weiss, thanks to him, brought the lead back to a 4-2 game, cut the deficit in half. You see Dan Carter's numbers on the right this year. He's been an absolute force as we get into him in this block. Here's Justin Grippo driving one down the right field line. Huxon dives for it, can't make the play. Runners are going to move up. Pioneers will have second and third, 2 outs. Jake Lutz will then score on the wild pitch. Dan Carter led the team in RBIs with 50 and 103 total bases, 20 RBIs. Here's Carson Weiss going Superman on the diving bunt. Second and third, no more, as Carson Weiss doubles off the runner at third. Pioneers get out of the inning, still 4-3. Here's the wild pitch that Jake Lutz scores on in the second. You see him use his legs right there, and he's going to use his legs, and he's also going to use his bat here, and he's going to drive one down the left field line for a double. You see him driving one down the line. He made all NJAC second team, so he's had a great breakout season for these Pioneers, and he slides in there with his double. We move on here. Dylan Habib lining one to center field. Adorno dives, makes a great play in center, but that's going to allow Lombardo to tag up and score. Pioneers have come all the way back now. They are tied 4-4. Matt Lawler came in relief after Riley Weiss. He was dominant, 4 innings, 2 hits, 1 strikeout, no walks. You're going to see him get out of this inning right here with a fly out to left field. Matt Lawler, we've seen him make some starts this year. We've seen him come out of the bullpen today and really shove when it mattered most. Colin Lombardo picks up his second hit of the day in the bottom of the 9th inning with a base hit to center field, and that's going to set up Dan the man, the Danimal, Dan Carter. Line drive, base hit left field. Here comes Lombardo, coach waving him around. He's going to run in safety with the winning run. Pioneers celebrate, pop the bottles. Dan Carter, Mr. Carter, leads the Pioneers to a big win over Kane. They are moving on in the NJAC tournament.
Steve, take us through that game a little bit more.
Yeah, we're going to look at the numbers right here, Samory. A game where the Pioneers came all the way back, like you said, Anthony, and it came down to base running when Colin Lombardo tagged up on that pop fly to center field. You look 5 runs to 4 runs for the Pioneers in this one, 12 hits, all of them coming later in this game to Kane's 8. 1 error for the Pioneers in this one, but it didn't be a costly error for them. 7 people left on base for the Pioneers, 5 left for the Cougars. 4 extra base hits for the Pioneers in this one compared to Kane's 1. And really, it came down to, we've said it all year, you got to pitch 1 through 9 in this one. They did that. They had a leader on the bases that scored, tagging up from first to on a center field pop-up. Who would have thought of that? And that eventually led to the win.
Jimmy?
A lot of glamour is going to go to Dan Carter, and a lot of glamour will go to the Pioneers in this victory. But I want to talk about the Weiss brothers, because it's kind of unsung heroes in this game. They make that Carson makes that diving catch, hits the home run. That saved runs from scoring, and Riley Weiss, the starting pitcher, had a pretty rocky first inning, to say the least. Gave up 4 runs. Goes out, gives 4 more strong innings. That's resilience. That's what you want to see from a starting pitcher, to be able to come back and keep your team in the game, to be able to make that comeback. Riley Weiss, Carson Weiss really put the teams on their back in this one throughout the game.
And Riley, he kept the Pioneers in the game. As you said, he gave up 4 runs in the first inning and did not give a run for the rest of the game. The Pioneers didn't give up a run for the rest of the game. Andrew, what'd you see?
Yeah, man. I mean, I'm going to talk about Dan Carter a little bit. This season, he was a beast. He absolutely deserves that NJAC Player of the Year award. He led the NJAC in batting average. He was 7th in OPS. and he led the NJAC in hits and RBIs. He's got 2 walk-offs last week. These Nears are absolutely rolling. Montclair cannot be excited to play them on Sunday.
Yeah, and we know a lot of the big names, gentlemen. We talked about Carson, Colin Lombardo, Steve Yellen, Dan Carter. We've talked about a lot of those guys. But, Andrew, we'll go to you. For the Pioneers to be successful, who do you think the X-Factor player will have to be? And somebody that's a sleeping giant, we can say.
Yeah, I think the sleeper I'm going to go with is Dylan Habib, the senior catcher. We'll take a look at his stats so far this season. He's been off to a really good one. He's batted .347 with a .919 OPS and 8 doubles on the year. He's been on a hot streak recently with his hitting. He went 3 for 4 against NJCU with 2 doubles and 3 RBIs, and then he went 3 for 3 against Kane with a double, a run scored, and an RBI. So watch out for him on Sunday.
Anthony?
Yeah, I'm going to go with my man Vinnie Martin. And I'm not really going to talk about Vinnie Martin, the player. I'm going to talk about Vinnie Martin, the power. He's got no home runs on the year, but he's got 13 doubles. That is tied for second on the team. He's got a .406 on base percentage, a .333 batting average, and 32 runs batted in. He has been huge for the Pioneers, and he's hit a bunch, and I mean a bunch of deep fly balls to the warning track and in the gap. If he can just fly a ball to the moon, as his walk-up song suggests, the Pioneers will go a long, long way.
Steve?
I'm going to take somebody who showed up really late into this one, is playing now in the NJAC, Tom Radigan, the shortstop for the Pioneers. You see right here, 21 games, a .279 average, 4 doubles, a .764 OPS, and a fielding percentage at .898. He's stepped right into shortstop. He's been seeing the ball well. He was a big reason for some wins at the end of the year. He stepped up in that Kane game, and I think he's going to continue to do that for the Pioneers.
Jimmy?
You know, with the Pioneers having an abundance of right-handed pitching, give me Matt Lawler, maybe an unsung hero of the Kane game, came in after Riley Weiss, completely shut the door down. You see his stats season, 13 games, 5 starts as starting and out of the pen, a 5.22 ERA, really come along towards the end of the season. That game against Kane, his two-seam can move away against righties. He can come in, obviously, as a lefty weapon. When you go in a lot against power-hitting teams, the NJAC, he can make a difference out of the pen.
And speaking of power-hitting teams in the NJAC, we're going to have a fun matchup this Sunday, this Mother's Day, by the way. So happy Mother's Day to all the mothers out there. Some baseball for the Pioneers as well. But they're going to travel to Kane to play Montclair State University. As Anthony said earlier, in A-Block, we're 0-2 against them this year. Jimmy, it's a really big game, and it's the rival. This is who you want. I know the Pioneers have had them on their mind. What do you see from this game?
It's a huge game. We're going to take a look at how the Pioneers stack up against their rivals right now. 0-2 against Montclair State on the season, as we see right here. Both teams have very good records. 15-3, Montclair is the NJAC against R12-6. Montclair's got a .353 batting average, which leads the NJAC, and an ERA of .445, which is much better than the Pioneers. But the Pioneers, against the 2 games against Montclair State, left about 20 guys on base combined. I don't see that happening. Put up 3 combined runs against them in 2 games. That's not like us. I expect a much closer game and be very high scoring.
Andrew?
Yeah, man, I'm really excited for this one. As you said before, we got swept by the Redhawks earlier this season. We're looking to get a lot of some revenge on our rivals. The first game of that series was Matt Lawler. He had a rough start in that one, something we haven't seen too much from him this season. So I think he's definitely going to be looking to take care of Montclair. And then the second game ended 1-0, as we know, on the walk-off in the bottom of the 9th. Both teams just had 4 hits in that game. But this is a really tough Redhawks team. They have 4 first-team All-NJAC players. It's going to be a battle at Kane on Sunday. I think we're all ready for it.
Yeah. Anthony?
Yeah, I love where Jimmy went here with the left on base. 16 left on base in that first game. If you want to win, and only 3 runs, if you want to win games, that can happen. But something I'm looking out for here, the Pioneers have a knack for coming back in games. They've done it against Springfield, where they were down 11-0. They were down 11-0 in the top of the first inning. They won that game. They were down against St. John Fisher. They came all the way back and won that game. They were down against Kane 4-0 in the first inning.
Yeah.
They won that game. So if the Pioneers get down, don't count them out. The crucial thing for the Pioneers, though, they got to get runners on base, and when they do, they have to score them.
Steve, close us out.
Yeah, you have to hit with runners in scoring position, like you guys said. I mean, when they played NJCU at the end of the year, I think they ground into 4 double plays back-to-back innings. I mean, you got to hit with runners in scoring position. It's a close game. Not only that, it's hard to beat a team 3 times in any sport that you play. Mm-hmm. So, and they're your rivalries. So you're going to have to hit with runners in scoring position, and you're going to have good pitching from your bullpen, and they're going to have to step up in this one.
Yeah, and something I'm seeing from the Pioneers, we can hit, and we can hit with the best of them. I think our pitch is really going to step up. As you alluded to, the last time we played them, it was a 1-0 game and we lost. So I think the Pioneer pitching staff, they played them already. They know what they like. They know what pitches they can get away with. So I think our bats are going to do what they normally do. But I'm looking at our pitching staff, and if our pitching staff does well, I think we're in for a good one this Sunday. But we would like to congratulate a lot of the Pioneers, as a lot of Pioneers take some hardware. So let's start off by congratulating Vinnie Martin, who was an All-NJAC honorable mention. Jake Lutz, Carson Weiss, and Steve Yellen made All-NJAC second team. Dan Carter and Colin Lombardo, who made All-NJAC first team. Finally, we'd like to congratulate Dan Carter and Coach Laughterhan on winning NJAC Player and Coach of the Year, respectively. Lastly, we wish a lot of luck to the Pioneers in their Route 46 rivalry rematch this Sunday against Montclair State. While the NJAC playoffs is hitting their second round, the NFL draft is behind us, and the football crew will take us to the field to the hash marks right after this here on WP Sports Desk.